Well, good morning. I'm so happy to be with you today. I was excited when Marianne reached out to me and asked me if was free today. Well, I wasn't free, but I found a way to make it work for all of us. So it's my joy to be with you. Oh, evolving our faith. Well, what in the world could I be saying about that? And I have an affirmation that I use when I look at faith. It's I have faith, I use it, and prove it. What do you mean you prove your faith? What is that? So how many of you actually have proven your faith lately? Well, think about something. Every time you walk into a room and you flip a light switch, you have faith that that switch is going to make that light come on. You get in your car, you put the key in, or you have the fob in your pocket and push a button, and you have faith that is going to cause the car to start up and you're going to get to go wherever you are. We use faith constantly, but we don't think about it all the time. We tend to put faith into this spiritual cup and only consciously pull it out whenever we feel like we need to have a little faith. Well, Unity teaches that faith is a power. It's one of our 12 powers, but it's a powerful and informative force that can lead to a deeper understanding of God and ourselves. It emphasizes the importance of personal experience, and it emphasizes the importance of inner knowing and encouraging us as individuals to develop a direct relationship with God, with divine, with source, with universe, whatever it is that works for you and how you refer to that higher power, that divinity. There are a few key principles, and they kind of align with our unity principles that also align with faith. So unity with God, where we are one with this. Faith is seen as recognizing our inherent connection to the divine, understanding that we are expressions of God. So I'm an expression of God. So are you. Turn to the person next to you, if you would, and just look at them and say, you are an expression of God. Now, say, I am an expression of God. It's always important that we affirm the truths that we know. And what we know through unity teachings is that we are that divine expression. Another principle to look at with this is the power of thought. Unity teaches that our thoughts shape our reality. And by cultivating positive and affirming thoughts, we can manifest a life aligned with our spiritual values. Now, how cool is that? That is so wonderful that we know that we have the capacity to shape our reality through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions. Prayer and meditation come into play. These practices are essential for deepening faith and fostering a personal relationship with Source, with God. They help individuals connect with our inner guidance. I know that as I move into faith, that I am connecting with that inner essence of who I am, with my God self. And I tap into that and I connect with that, and there's where my guidance comes from. And through prayer and meditation, I am quiet long enough to hear that guidance. Living in love. Faith is expressed through love and service to others. It's expressed through reflecting the belief that we are all interconnected. Yes, I'm up in Sky Valley, Georgia on a mountaintop, but yet I know in the truth of my being that I am connected with each and every one of you. Because there is no such thing as distance or separation when we're in the realm of spirit. And so it is so easy when we remember that to move past all of the divisiveness or all of the things that don't fit in our lives, when we can come in and live in that expression of faith through love and recognizing that we are all one. We're one in spirit. Another place where, a key principle with growth and transformation, unity encourages us to view challenges as opportunities for growth. We trust that faith can guide us through difficult times. we, shift how we perceive something that comes up that maybe doesn't feel excellent in the moment, but look beyond it. That we look beyond it for other opportunities. There was a woman, a minister in Unity years ago. Her name was Reverend May Rowland. And one of the things she said, when something would come upon, she would come upon something that had an appearance of being a challenge or, being an awful. We all get caught up on the ain't it awfuls. When she would see something like that, she would merely look at it and go, I can't wait to see what good comes from this. Because we know when we are living in faith that something good will come from it. There's no question about it. So I don't know if any of you have read Charles Fillmore's Atom Smashing Power of the Mind. It's actually one of my favorite books because it takes science and verifies and proves what we know in our spiritual practices. And it's not an easy read. Honestly, none of Charles really is an easy read. But there's meat there. There's good stuff there if we just take our time and live into it. So I want to share some pieces out of that book that really lend themselves to understanding a little more about faith. So in the Atom Smashing Power of the Mind, Charles says, have faith in the power of your mind to penetrate and release the energy that is pent up in the atoms of your body. And you will be astounded at the response. So after I'm finished delivering the talk, we're going to do a meditation. And that's one of the things I want to ask us to focus on, is that we let the mind penetrate and release that energy that may be pent up in the atoms of our body in order to breathe a newness into our experience and into our movement. So we'll do that in a little while. He also said that faith is the highest expression of belief or confidence. That it is something in man which says, I believe in the possibilities of things that I cannot see. I believe in the possibility of divine mind doing in this age or in any age right now everything that was ever done in any age. When we believe this, we hold to it, putting aside all doubt and whatever suggests failure. The thoughts of faith begin to accumulate substance, and fulfillment follows. Well, the key in that statement is recognizing, we all understand that we are masters at our manifestation capacities. But to recognize that it is through our faith, that's when we begin to accumulate substance. Yes, we have to have imagination. Yes, we have to have faith. Yes, we have to be affirming in all that we do, because that's what brings manifestation about in this experience. But faith is the key. I can try to manifest something all day long, but if I don't buy into it myself, is it ever going to happen? Probably not, because I am undermining my own creative abilities, because I am not bringing in that divine law of mind and action, that divine law of how faith works with everything. When we understand the innate capacity of the mind raised to spiritual dominion, we cannot but have an increase in faith equal to doing the works of Jesus, and even greater works as he promised. Now, in the Daily Word, I know that we referenced the text in Genesis where it talked about we were making them in our image. I always thought that word "our" in there was kind of interesting, because we look at mainstream traditions where it is one, and we teach one presence, but it is in that energy, that consciousness. And in there we were told about having dominion. This is a place where I think we have a lot of differences in a lot of mainstream traditions, because we're not here to have dominion over everything around us. What that's telling us, if we look at it from the metaphysical perspective, that our divine being, our divine consciousness, divine mind, is to be in charge, to have dominion over all of this human aspect. So it has dominion over our thoughts, our words, our actions, to have dominion over our responses, over our emotions. And what that tells me is that when I enter into any circumstance, any situation, that I need to lean into my divine nature. I am that divine expression. We all claimed it earlier. You are that divine expression. And so as that expression, it is our accountability and responsibility to be in that place of managing all that we are from our spiritual beingness and showing up as that divine expression. And sometimes, I don't know about all of you, but I know there are times that my humanness gets going and I have to just kind of go, shh, stop it. You're not in charge here. It's time for me to take a pause. Meditate, pray, affirmations, whatever it takes, but it's time for me to take that pause and get back into alignment with who's supposed to be in charge here, which is my higher self. So, when we look at the Bible, Jesus recognized in everything and called it Father. He recognized divine mind, that capital M mind, and he called it Father. He knew that there is a faith center in each atom of so-called matter, and that faith in man can move upon the faith center in so-called manner and can remove mountains. You remember that passage where it talks about, faith the size of the grain of a mustard seed can move mountains? Well, I'm here to tell you, I live on top of a mountain and I don't want these mountains moving. That's not anything that I want to have happen here. But I find it assuring that if I can truly step into that place, I have all kinds of mountains in my life that come along, and I'm sure you each do. We see them as those obstacles. Maybe sometimes it's not a mountain, sometimes it could be just a pebble, but we have turned it into something a lot huger than that. It offers us the opportunity to remember that when we are in a place of faith, that we are in charge. Not necessarily in charge of something outside of us, but we are in charge of how we show up. We are in charge of how we respond. And it's ours to do and to move into that. So what does all this mean, and how do we use it in our spiritual practice, our spiritual experience? Prayer, meditation, affirmations, keeping that positive attitude, keeping into that place where, faith is not just a belief, but it's an active, lived experience that fosters spiritual growth and transformation. It's not something that you tuck away, it's something that you exercise. It's something that you live into and be. It's interesting through the years of working with ministries and being a senior minister for many, many years, I would have people say, well, why is it that we have folks come in and they may stay a while, they may stay a month or two, and then we never see them again? Well, I made a point to kind of focus on that for a while, and I would reach out to folks, not necessarily to, say, come back, come back, come back. Of course I would like to have them back, but I wanted some honest answers. Tell me what happened. And other than the typical things that would come up and life change, move away, or whatever, what I heard most of all, and I think was probably true more often than not, it was fun when I got there, and I was getting fed, and it felt good, and we were singing cool songs, and everybody was so sweet and was so nice. And then I realized that I have to do the work. Nobody's going to do it for me. It's mine to do. And so as we live into faith, we recognize, yes, it is ours to do. Being a student of unity is not for the weak-hearted, because we are here to do our work, to expand our consciousness, and to shine that light on ourselves and everything and everyone around us. So I would like to invite you to all commit to yourselves that I'm here to be that divine expression and to show up and do the work that is mine to do, to be the best expression I can be. I think that's a great thing for us to do. no matter what's going on in the world around us, we have the capacity to find peace within us. And when we have peace within us, that tends to infect the quantum field of the world around us. And so I'm so happy that I got to be with you today. I would like to take us into a time of meditation. I'm going to do a screen share, and there'll be a video on the screen, and I will take us into a time of meditation. And like I said, let's focus on, in this time, and I'll guide us into it, in this time of meditation, allowing things that are in the atoms of our body, as Charles Fillmore talked about, that are not aligned with the desires of our heart, that we're going to release them. So let me get the screen going, and we will go into a time of meditation. And so I invite you to take a few deep breaths. I invite you to allow your body to just relax and be present. As we engage in this thing referred to as faith, this unknown, unseen in so many ways, we focus on our breath coming in, and as our breath comes into the body, we focus on it moving out into every cell, into every atom of every cell. And we learn from what Papa Charlie told us when he said that these atoms, when we release, then we open ourselves to this greater expression and expansion of who we are. So we examine what our heart's desire is. And as we examine that, we allow the truth of what is being held within us, in the atoms of our being, to be an awareness that is ours. And then in this awareness, we grant permission for anything that is not like the desires of our heart, that is not like the truth of who we are as divine expressions, to be free. We release them into the ethers. We appreciate that they've been with us, that they've guided us and gotten us this far, but now is the time. Now is the time for them to be gone. Oh, and as we know, in unity, once we release something, we have to set that intention for what is to fill it. So I want us to have a few moments of silence while we work through this process of identifying and releasing, giving permission for those things that are not desired in our consciousness to be gone. And then we'll come back and work at filling that space. So in the silence, we release. In the silence, we identify. In the silence, we become. Oh, and as we've released and given permission for those things that are not in harmony with the desires of our heart, that are not in harmony with the truth of who we are as these living, breathing expressions of God, we've created a void. And now it is our desire to fill that void with that which resonates, with that which supports and guides us on this journey of conscious awareness and conscious expansion. We invite in love. We invite in that truth of love of who we are to fill the cells of our being. We invite in peace and joy. We invite in a continued awareness of who we are and an understanding of how to be that divinity, walking, breathing, and having a presence right here, right now. And as we begin to close out this time together, we anchor these teachings. We anchor the truth that we know through the divine essence that we are. We celebrate the divinity that I am, that you are, that we are in this moment. With every breath we take, with every thought we think, and with every action we pursue. For in this moment and every moment, we are the divine expression of Source. We are beloved. We are the action of Spirit. So we anchor this time of prayer and meditation in gratitude for the teachings that we have, in gratitude for this community, for the technology, for the opportunities that come from our time together. And so it is in gratitude that we say, and so it is. Amen. And so I thank you for sharing this time with me, for being present. And Marianne, thank you for the opportunity to join together with all of you once again. And so be blessed and be courageous in your journey. Because remember, this journey is not for the weak of heart. Namaste.